participation des populations autochtones, des populations locales aux bénéfices générés par la gestion de la nature. Je pense donc que c'est des modèles assez importants. Moi, je suis du Sénégal avec ma collègue. Je suis député, membre donc du Parlement sénégalais et président d'un réseau parlementaire au Sénégal et dans les pays de la côte ouest africaine. Donc, je pense que c'est pourquoi, quand on parle d'une loi, j'ai été intéressé à venir écouter et voir quelle est cette expérience coréenne qui permet de mieux gérer les ressources naturelles. Au Sénégal et dans la région ouest africaine, nous, comme nous sommes aussi en zone frontalière avec la République de Mauritanie, nous sommes séparés par un fleuve et c'est une forte zone de nidification des oiseaux du monde. Là, nous avons créé une zone qu'on appelle la réserve transfrontalière de biosphère. Et nous avons mis en place un système de gestion, mais c'est un système de gestion étatique. C'est les deux États, l'État du Sénégal et l'État de la Mauritanie, les deux services forestiers qui gèrent les parcs nationaux. Et c'est l'État qui met les moyens. La limite que je vois donc dans ce modèle et par rapport au modèle que vous avez ici, c'est qu'ici, ce sont les privés et d'autres donateurs qui participent à la gestion. Et là, c'est l'État qui met. Donc, il y a donc avoir ces deux modèles, quelque chose à prendre d'ici. C'est pourquoi la proposition de l'une des panélistes, Madame à côté, est assez intéressante parce que quand elle parle de mettre un network au plan mondial pour rendre le trust global, puisqu'en fait il s'agit d'un modèle particulier de gestion qui est basé aussi sur une législation et qui permet de préserver des zones naturelles en péril ou bien de les valoriser au plan écologique afin de les préserver pour les générations futures. Je pense que ceci donc doit être un mouvement mondial et nous disons que nous sommes prêts, nous aussi en tant que network de parlementaires qui nous occupons des questions de gestion de l'environnement à participer dans cela. Nous vous remercions d'avoir participé à cet atelier et des foules d'informations que nous avons eu à y retenir. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, are you from Senegal? Is it right?
Oui. Oui. Oui, je suis du Sénégal.
All right. Thank you very much. Does anyone want to express any opinion, or do you have a chance to comment? Yeah, please.
Hi, my name is Mitsu Takahashi. I'm from Japan, and I'm sorry I came late, so I might have missed some of the presentations. But I have some. I think it's quite an ambitious thought you have about national trust as a statute. I study environmental laws, and yeah, we in Japan also have sort of a similar situation with the common lands, but I think we are not as ambitious as having a national trust. But my question for clarification is that as I read on the text, page 27, there seems to be a village treaty. Is it pronounced Dongi? So my simple question goes to is that if you are setting up a national trust, and it seems that the beneficiaries are going to be the future generations, which is very good. But still, in that, wouldn't there be any worries that the villages will be sort of marginalized? And I recall that the last young lady was talking about the difference between the beneficiaries. So since there's a lot of urban and rural divide in our society, so wouldn't the national trust be a benefit for the urban people, but sort of marginalizing the local people? Would that be a worry, or what do you think about that? That is my question.
Dr. Chen?
National trusts are trying to establish the commons. Commons means the property of a village originally. So, if the trust system is if the trust system is established in the village, the village people have their own property. So, as I already mentioned, the trust has three missions. Two of them is the restoring the commons of village. We call it lost property of village. In Korean Peninsula, there are many village properties, that is to say commons, missing. So if we restore the commons of village, that commons will give the people benefit sharing sharing the benefit from or arising from the ecotourism or management of natural resources. So the concept of trust was not against the benefit of people and the commons. As I know, there are also national trust in Japan, but I wonder about the trust in Japan is according to the customary law or the self-autonomy. If you know the concept of the national trust in Japan, could you mind explain that concept?
Actually, I'm not an expert on trusts, but I know there's an organization called National Trust, but I don't think there's a positive link between the customary common lands. I think it's more like buying the land and managing it as a trust. So I don't think there's such a deep link, and I don't think they recognize that so much as you guys do.
Yeah, thank you.
At least from what I know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, please.
Interested in what your goal is in terms of the size of the trust. What do you hope to gain or to collect over what time period? And how would you break down the percentage of your donations? Would you, in terms of corporate, individual, and government?
I differentiate the concept of public land and commons. The government tried to get the public land. In this case, public land means the state-owned or the local government-owned land. But commons is the property gained by the people or NGO, including our trust. Our National Nature Trust is not government agency. our Ministry of Environment, Land and the Sea Ministry are trying to obtain the public land by way of the government budget. But the National Nature Trust did not use the money from government. We are gathering the money from the people, or citizens who loves the conservation of nature. So I think it is impossible to obtain all of the DMZ. There are already 60% of public land in the demilitarized zone. So we wanted to obtain the 40% of residency, but I think many people who have owned their property in the DMZ did not want to sell or donate to us. They are consistently hold their property for the development interest. So we expected that 3% of private land in the DMZ might be donated or sold out through the National Trust, so to speak. To make short of my explain, among the 40% private land, the government should try to engage, obtain most of all private land as the public land, and 3% among 40% we will try get in the name of trust. And at the first stage, we will try to campaign during 5 years. First step 5 years, and next 5 years. But this period will be everlasting. Maybe like the United Kingdom, maybe during 100 years. Thank you.
Dr. E.O. Wilson, Harvard professor, said that in 100 years, the thing that the Korean people will look back on and think is most important to not only this country, but the region, would be the safeguarding and protecting of the demilitarized zone. Several years ago, there was an article in the New York Times that said property at the edge of the DMZ in the CCZ was selling for about $1,900 an acre. And my math at the time suggested that would mean you could purchase the whole DMZ for about $300 million. And you could approach Mr. Ted Turner about that. He might be very interested in helping.
He has to raise a lot of funds to purchase that one. That's a good approach too. If my understanding is correct, there's no limits on size that they are working on to get land or related. I mean, surrounding the military DMZ area. So I think you can have further, communication with Dr. John after this session, so that you can have better information or clarification that you need. Still, I'm sure you have still a couple more questions about that. So since we are running out of time, please to meet him after this session. Couple more opinions I would like to invite from the floor. You have any questions or comments? young gentleman, come forward. All right. Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Bun Kim, and my friend is Yong Soo Kim. Before he say about DMZ,
What do you think of these the topics we are talking about? Does it interest you, or what do you think? What's your opinion about the DMZ, protection of DMZ and Gozawa, things like that? You participate in any activities like that? Environmental protection activities?
so that is me. Let's introduce my thinking about national trust.
Sure.
So before I heard this, Mr. Chen saying, I was not thinking about DMZ, but after Mr. Chen saying, I thinking about DMZ, and DMZ is not only scar of war. DMZ is gonna be nature and something else. So I think DMZ is very important. So we keep DMZ, and after more than in future, I want to carry one North Korea and South Korea. So not DMZ, or Korea gonna be nature.
Okay, that's why we need education, and that's okay. Thank you very much. We need to find out the way we can get such young generation get involved into this kind of discussions and activities, so that they can be like can participate in protection activities as we do. They are the our future. They are the future of the environment. I'm so sure. Dr. Jim.
Yeah, please come in. People, she's saying. Yeah.
Can I get the microphone?
Yeah, come in.
Oh, she wants.
Can I get the microphone? Thanks for all the presentations and like the inspiring discussions. Thanks a lot. It gave me some ideas. So just a few comments. When I heard about this trusted system. Sorry. I forgot. My name is Nam Lee. I'm working for the MPA Center in Korea. That's the implementing agency to support the Ministry of Land Transport and Maritime Affairs. So mainly we are working on MPAs, and also there are some discussions and suggestions are going on right now to designate our marine part, between north and south, to designate that as a transboundary, protected areas, and to conserve the marine areas between these, two countries or these two entities. And the question kept, coming to my mind is how this transboundary, if we designate, transboundary protected areas between two Koreas, how this kind of system can work together with the, national trust movement you are suggesting right now. Maybe since this is more like the community-based movement from the south, and later, if we really every stakeholders get together and to do something, to protect this area, this national trust system, this trust system could be kind of complementary, like the movement to support the work of the national government. Because actually government, our central government and Korean government are working on to designate that area as one of protected areas. You could call it heritage site, or you could call it, wetlands protected area, or in marine sectors, marine protected area. That was one comment. And another idea came to my mind was, since you mentioned you'd like to set up the global trust, and I'm thinking maybe, there were concerning the peace treaty between North and South, because we have lots of, signatories, to make this peace, not the peace agreement at the moment, but still we are at the war. But anyway, lots of other United Nations countries actually, joined the Korean War in various ways to help these two Koreas. And I'm just thinking maybe if you just enlarge your networks to connect these all United Nations countries who joined at the Korean War, I think they also be really interested in setting up this global trust. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the first comment, you mentioned about the government is moving or trying to designate the whole area as a protected area. Yes, it's true, and Dr. Chen is working with